Very good Thursday morning to you, boys and girls. Yes, it's Thursday, the 28th of November, 2019. Welcome along to this morning's United Kingdom Talk, coming to you from the Chapel Hill Marina in Lincolnshire. Not too cold this morning, I must say. Bit more rain last night. That woke me up a few times on the caravan roof. I've been sleeping very well recently. I think it's since I got home and I've got back into my soft beds. That's the one thing about Cyprus in that bungalow, which was nice, it was all right in there, but the bed, I don't like to go on about it, dear. As you know, I never repeat the same thing twice, but that bed was so hard. I mean, it would have been better off getting a piece of plywood that has slightly gone a bit mouldy, so it would have been soft, but there we are. So as I say, not too cold this morning. Shall we say hello to the early birds today? Adam the plumber, right at the top of the list. Good morning, Adam. Oh, shock horror. Mark Bowles has made an appearance today. He's been too busy, apparently. Oh, yes, too busy. Here's a clue to what Mark Bowles was doing. Are you ready? Why does some people lick their darts? Why is that, Mark? Is it because you haven't got my ear close to you to lick? Is that the reason that is? What? He's been playing darts all over the place and collecting the little thing. I think I didn't know people did that, collecting the little fins, it looks like, from his darts or something. Morning to Mikey Mike. Mike Rees-Ponto in the house. Good morning, sir. Adam West, good morning to you. Paul Jordan, hello. Diane Jebb, morning, Diane. There's little Heidi, morning. Honey, yesterday my life was filled with rain. Oh, no, that's sunny, isn't it? What songs have the word honey in? Tell him about the honey, mummy. Do you remember the monster? That monster, what's it called now? The Sugar Puffs monster. Do you remember him? Yes, the Sugar Puffs are watching you now. Good morning to Paul in Cornwall. He says, hope you like the snow. It will be winter soon. No, I hate it. I absolutely hate snow. Can't stand it. Really, I remember it's all right when you're a child and you're going hurtling down the side of a very tall mountain, onto a road below. That's okay. We did that in Richmond Park, me and my sister. I think it was about 10 years old at the time. We had this old red plastic sledge. Well, it wasn't old then, it was new then. They've still got it. My sister's still got it. I had this red plastic sledge and we would go on that and go hurtling down the side of this hill in Richmond Park. Because we lived in Roehampton, which was quite close to Richmond Park, and there was a tree at the bottom which we were going. I can't remember if we hit the tree or what, but it's all right when you were a child, doing all that snow business, but not anymore. So thank you for that, Paul in Cornwall. Have you got snow down there yet? Surely not. I don't think you've got snow down there. I think they've had a little bit up in the north of Scotland, haven't they? Good morning to Simon Keane. Can I just put my glasses on here? Morning, young Simon. He says, in reference to your chat about Michael Parkinson yesterday, because Michael Parkinson's going on tour. We did a show last night, by the way. Some of you may not have caught that. A lovely show last night, a couple of hours we were on yesterday evening. One of the things we were talking about was Michael Parkinson, because he's going on tour. You remember? The great, great, great chat show host from the 70s and the 80s mainly. A staple diet on people's BBC One Saturday night viewing. Oh, he was great. Anyway, he's going on tour. He's got about 5 dates, I think, which are all kind of around the Yorkshire area. And we were talking about that yesterday. Simon says, my favourite guest of his was Les Dawson. Remember Les? And he used to play that piano. And he would hit the wrong note now and again. He was a pianist. Les Dawson could play the piano. But for comical effects, he would hit the wrong note occasionally. He was great. And, of course, he took over from Terry Wogan doing Blankety Blank as well, didn't he? Anyway, Simon says Les Dawson was one of his favourites. Les said, I love women. They're so funny. Only a woman would go to bed at night wearing a mud pack, hair in curlers, and then say, where's all the passion gone? That's very, very... That's got to be one of your best amusing comments ever, Simon, I must say. Very well done, sir. Very well done indeed. Let me just delete some of these old messages here. Otherwise that will get confusing. That one there. There we are. Delete that. There we are. That's for a little texting number, which I've put over there, okay? Who else is there today? Morning to Fran Green. Good morning, Fran. Hello to you, my love. Sean Pye, nice and early in the house. Morning, Sean. He's the one with all the cash. If you want to borrow any money, just ask Sean. He happily sends it to you, no questions asked, okay? Morning to Jason Hughes. Heidi can hear a bit of feedback. Are we echoing a bit? There we go. That's gone now, isn't it? Sorry, I had my volume turned up too much there. Mark's been away darting all weekend. Glad to see. It's been ages. Well, you could have caught up on the recordings, dear Mark. You know, nothing to stop you, you know, putting on a little recording of the show while you're in the shower or something like that. Or the bath. Do you have a bath? I don't have a bath. I don't like baths. I think they're horrible, dirty things. You sit in that bath, surrounded by all that water that's peeling on dead skin. Even worse if you have to share the bath with someone else. You know, forget about the dirt up here. What about the dirt that might be clinging to your bottom? And then you're sitting in the bath. Oh, no, dear. I can't be doing with the bath. I got rid of the bath in my house. One of the first things I ever did. Got the bath out and had a shower thing put in. And I've got a little mini bath here at our Lincolnshire Television Studio complex. But that's being replaced by a shower cubicle next week. A large shower cubicle for my large fat ass. Thank you. Morning to Mark Jones. Good morning, Mark. SOS Gold is in the house. Has tried emailing me for a raffle ticket. The emails are returning undelivered. Isn't that strange? Oh, I don't know why that is. I can't do it now. I'm afraid I can't do that now. I can only do it by email, and I have got to have the same rules for everyone. Otherwise, people start moaning, even if it doesn't work. I don't know why that's bouncing back. I had 3... didn't we have too many emails yesterday for raffle tickets, actually? Let's have a quick look. See if there's any more come through there that it's working. Yeah, I had 5. I had 5 emails for raffle tickets last night, since the show finished last night, so overnight. And that does seem to be working. So I'll assume that's your end, I'm afraid. Sorry, I don't know why that's not working. Maybe try again now, see what happens, see if it's working now. Good morning to Adrian Richardson. Good morning to you. I think, I do notice some people are leaving it till like a couple of minutes before the show, and that's difficult for me. You must understand that, you know, in the morning, or whatever time the show is, for half an hour before the show. Thank you very much. Mark Jones has sent a one... Oh, hang on, I'm going to get my jingle. Mark Jones has just sent a £1 super chat. Yeah, baby, the cash is pouring in today. Oh, where is it? Yes, some people are kind of messaging for a raffle ticket like a minute before we're due on. And I know I've been saying, of course, you know, you can claim a raffle ticket right up to the beginning of the next show. That makes it really difficult. You know, if you're ready to go, and suddenly an email drops in for a raffle ticket. Come on, do us a favour. So we're going to slightly change the rules. You can claim a raffle ticket up to an hour before the start of the next show. Then I'll be able to do it fine. Because that's getting a bit silly. There's people like asking for raffle tickets 2 minutes before we're due to start the show. A bit difficult, don't you think? While I'm sitting here doing other stuff. So we're going to slightly change the rules there. You can claim a raffle ticket for the last show right up to 1 hour before the next show starts, okay? All right? So, new rule there, boys. We just make it up as we go along, basically. Don't we? We make it up as we go along. SOS Gregorian, try sending us an email and let's see what happens now. Okay, let's have a look here. Morning, Adrian. Did I say good morning to you? I think so. Adrian Richardson, good morning. Michael Pullman in the house. Morning, Michael. Michael sends his requests in nice and early. You know, he's always there sort of a couple of hours after we finish usually. Morning to Sharon Butler, Shazby, that's my sister. Can we have some thumbs up, please? Click the thumbs up thing. That's always very kind. Thank you. Oh dear. Oh dear. There's my nephew. My sister is round my nephew's house doing a little bit of work. And she's been caught. She's been caught watching the show. What a dedicated sister she is. Hyde is a shower person as well. We like showers, don't we? Thank you very much. Mark sent some pictures, so I'll have a look at those later. Yes, so there we are. There's our early bird people in this morning. I had a minor disaster. It wasn't a minor. It was a major disaster last night. Just after the show, so I've done my dinner. As soon as we finished the show last night, order. Thank you, Jason. Order order. Some people are taking the mick to sit there. You must time it. In fact, let's make it really awkward for Chris today and ask for a raffle ticket 1 minute before the show finishes. Is that what you do? I'm sure it is. Or you couldn't be bothered to ask that night, so no, up to 1 minute before. Another super chat. Oh my God, the cash is pouring in this morning, boys and girls. Oh yeah. Thank you, Mark Bowles. Another £1 coming in there, boys and girls. Thank you, Mark. Don't forget, gang, every time you send a super chat, you are entitled to a super chat badge, whether or not you've had one. Some people, they've already had one. They don't want another one. So thank you very much for the super chat. Other people, you are still entitled. If you want one, little pin on the back, which makes it difficult to send through the post, but I will. Don't worry. What you've got to do is email me your postal address there if you want a super chat badge. Okay? I've got that email now, Mr. Gregorian, that has arrived. Your email has now arrived. Good morning, Tony King. Taught them out, Chris. There must be pain and suffering at all times. That's what's wrong. This is why kids are running riot in the street. There's no more pain and suffering anymore. Well, if I was Prime Minister, I would immediately bring back pain and suffering. And I think we need to start with babies. Yes, canes have to be... Canes have to... When babies wee the bed accidentally, they must be caned. That's the only way to do it. Aren't I awful? We are awful this morning. Thank you very much for your pound then, all right? Yes, so last night, after I finished the show... Oh, and I must thank Ross Patzelt. I don't think he's with us today. Ross Patzelt sent in a link for some cough mixture. So thank you very much for that, Ross. We've had snow on Dartmoor already. Oh, no. Well, you can keep it down there. Hate it. I hate snow. Absolutely hate snow. Yes, after the show last night, I did my dinner, and which was corn burgers. I had a tin of baked beans. You know I like baked beans. Tin of baked beans and some smashed potato. And I sat there, and I started watching what I said I was watching last night, the Lauren Hardy film, which has got... Who are the two stars in that? Oh, the bloke who does the amateur radio station. Oh, God, what's his name? Someone tell me who the stars are on those two. The Lauren Hardy film, which is on Amazon Prime, because I've signed up to Amazon Prime now. Yep, it's taken me 3, 4, 5 years to sign up to that. And I was sitting there the other night and I thought to myself, you order an awful lot of Amazon. But virtually everything I buy now, par food, is from Amazon. There's certain things I would not advise you to buy online without trying them out first. Probably the biggest purchase of that would be a bed. Never ever buy a bed without laying on it or sitting on it first. Certainly not from Argos or somewhere like that. Now, I do have a bed next door to me, which is an Argos bed, and it's really cheap. It looks cheap, it feels cheap. It's not hard, but it's okay for what it is. But you should spend as much money as possible you can on a bed. If you've got £10,000 to spend on a bed, spend it. I mean, it really is worth it. So beds, clothes as well can be a bit dodgy, but generally, most stuff I buy is on Amazon. And I've noticed these days that it seems to be a normal thing to be like $4.99 for postage. I'm sure when they started, sometimes you might get charged $2.50 or, $1.99. Now, virtually every single thing I order costs me £4.99 in postage. So I've signed up to Amazon Prime. You get 30 days free, so you can cancel it after that if you want to. And everything is free. When they send it in the post, it all seems to be free now. That's included, right? And if you work that out, £75 divided by 12, I think it is, over the year. Is it 79 or 75, something like that? Excuse me. You sort of divide that, and it works out to about £6.50 a month. So you've only got to order 2 things, really, haven't you? You've only got to order 2 things, and then you've saved the money. So it's worth doing. Not only that, you get all the Amazon Music, which I can play for my Echoes and things like that, and also the Amazon Video stuff. And I was flicking through it. As soon as I got it, I flicked through it, and it came up, the Lauren Hardy film. So I thought, yeah, I watched that. So I started watching that last night. Very good. Very good. They seem to have hit some rough times, sort of, after they were massive stars in the US. And if the film is, I assume it's a true film, but a lot of those older videos of the Laurel and Hardy, some of you young people might not even have seen a Laurel and Hardy film, I don't know. But some of those old films, according to their story, they weren't paid for, or they probably got a bit of money and that was it, you know, like a one-off payment. Well, you see people on films and that these days, you know, every time they show the film, they get X amount of pounds come to them. Similarly with music, you know, Rod Stewart. I don't know so much about the new people like One Direction and all that. I don't know how it works with them, but certainly the old stars, Elton John, Rod Stewart. Every time you hear their song on the radio, they get a little bit of music. They get a little bit of money. Yeah, and I think it was similar to Laurel and Hardy. I think they were paid a fee to do the film, and then that was it. They didn't get any money for the repeats. Yeah, there were some great, hilarious Laurel and Hardy films, weren't there? You remember the one with a plank? And every time he turned round, he whacked him, and the one with the piano and all that. Anyway, so I'm watching this last night, and it was like, they had some sort of disagreement with their producer in America, and one went off and did stuff on his own. I think it was I can't remember which one it was now. And that kind of finished off their career over there, really, but according to this film. But then they came over here and started doing theatres, and they were like school halls, some of them at first, but they started getting an audience back, and eventually they filled up these big theatres. And that's as far as I've got so far. Is they're at, where was it now? I think they're at some sort of dinner or something, and Hardy, the fat one, he has a bit of a heart attack. He looks like he's had a heart attack, and that's as far as I've got so far. I've only got about 20 minutes left now, but it's really good. The Laurel and Hardy film on Amazon Prime. Okay, there's other Amazon Prime stuff. It looks to me like that you rent the film, so you pay them, but there's a lot of free stuff on there, you know. And as I say, you don't have to pay extra for that. Once you sign up with Amazon Prime, it's like free stuff, not free stuff, free postage stuff coming for the post, and the music and the films. Films and TV series is on there. I'm sorry, I'm still got this blooming frog in the throat at the moment. So it's great. It's absolutely great, that film. Do watch it. Anyway, so I'm having my dinner. Then I finished my dinner, and then I've paused the film. Started washing up, because in a caravan you've only got a very small sink, right? So you've got to wash up as you go along. So I've had my dinner, done that, having my tea. Then I went over and I washed the teapot up. I have tea leaves. Chucked the tea leaves away, washed the pot up, and then put it on the side next to the thing. Then somehow I turned around and this glass teapot went smashing to the floor. I'm so disappointed. It was a lovely teapot, it was. Admittedly, the glass did look a bit thin, and that's the second one of those I've broken now. And the teapot ended up in tiny little bits of glass and large bits of glass all over the floor. It's so dangerous glass, and difficult to pick it all up. You know, you're kind of trying to stand round the side and pick up the larger bits really carefully and put them in the bin. But the small bits, it's the small bits that you don't see, you see. So out come the hoover, and you hoover it and you hoover it, and then you know, look carefully, put the light on and shine a torch. If you see anything shining, it's probably a bit of glass. But it's the tiny little bits, you know, that you think you've cleared it up. And then you go walking around there in bare feet, you know, if you've got up or something like that. And ow, what's that? And of course it's gone in your foot and you can't see it. You can't see the bit of glass. So very, very difficult picking up these little bits of glass. But I was hoovering that small area for about 10 minutes. Hopefully getting up, first of all, with the sucker thing, you know, the hose thing, you know, doing it manually, and literally on my hands and knees with a torch, trying to see any bits that are shining. And then there's a little bit of carpet near the sink, and I'm moving up there, and then I put the thing back on there, and the tube back onto the hoover, and I carried on hoovering it like that for about 10 minutes. The hoover I've got is a hoover, if you see what I mean, a hoover. And but it hasn't got a detector to tell you carpet or lino. And what tends to happen with that hoover, because in the kitchen here is lino, it tends to suck the lino up off the floor. You know, so it's actually quite difficult. It's all right on the carpet. It's very, very high suction on that thing, but there's no adjustment on it, because it was a cheap hoover. I think it was about 60 quid or something like that. So you're never quite sure whether it's picked up all the rubbish or not. But that was my disaster last night. No teapot now. I mean, I've got a few teapots at home, but I haven't got one here. Shall I wait? I'll probably wait till I go home and then bring a new one up next week or something like that. But that means I have to have tea from teabags. How common is that? I hope there's no one here who drinks tea from teabags. If there is, please go immediately. You know, we're a little bit of decorum. Tea leaves in a teapot. That's what we love. I bet Fran Green has tea leaves in a teapot, don't you, Fran? I know who does. Claire. Claire will have tea leaves. Good morning, Claire. Morning, Claire. Her bingo winner's pen has arrived. Claire is very happy. I hope you'll be using that on the bingo on Sunday night, Claire. Okay? Want to see you using that pen on the bingo on Sunday night. If you're not registered for the bingo Sunday night, send me an email. Just let me know. Please add me to the bingo game and I'll put you in for Sunday night, okay? If you're already registered, you don't need to register again unless you haven't turned up 4 or 5 times in a row, in which case you may have come off the list. So, all right? Heidi is going to take a picture for you of her in the shower. Oh, I beg your pardon, of my shower. I beg your pardon, Heidi. Please don't take a picture of yourself in the shower, darling. I don't like to look at naked women. I think there's something very sick about looking at naked women. I really do. All right, Heidi. Rumour has it that some of the lads in here have been looking at naked women. And quite frankly, I think you all need help. It's not a natural thing to do, looking at naked women all the time. Mark doesn't want a shower. I've got one. I can't put it on at the moment, as in bed. Why would you want to put the shower on if you're in bed? Arctic weather this weekend. Good morning, Mark Colding. Yes, bring a nice fur coat if you're coming along to the karaoke. Hey, it was nice to see you Monday there. Fran, you are awful, but I like it. Good. Mark's got Slimming World going on at the moment, so he's put a message up there. Sorry, that was held for some reason, so I've just let that go, all right? If you want to have a look at Mark Jones's, as you see Mark Jones is up here, if you want to have a look at his Slimming World story, just click the 3 little dots that are next to his name there and go to channel. And that'll take you to his YouTube channel, all right? Claire's got flooding at the River Mole at Leatherhead. Couldn't walk the dogs in the field by the river this morning. Boggy everywhere. I remember some years ago, Claire, there was a lot of floods on either side of the M3. Do you remember that? Just before you got to London, I do remember that. So it must be all that same sort of thing, mustn't it, there? Oliver Hardy, yeah. Oliver Hardy, that's the one. Oh, there's Ross. There's Ross. I just thanked you earlier on, Ross, for your kind email with the cough linctus that you sent me this morning. Morning, Ross. He says, have you been chatting all night? I wish I had. I wish I had. It's very lonely in my bed this morning. There you go. Now, there you go. Adrian Richardson has just asked for a ticket again. Look. Adrian Richardson. When did he send that? Let's have a look. You're taking a mick, you are. At 9:22. I don't think so, mate. You're too late. Too late. No, we got. There's a new rule with the raffle tickets, gang. You can only ask for a raffle ticket up to 1 hour before the next show starts because it's getting a bit silly and very difficult. You're not having a ticket. No, I shall delete that email now as punishment. There must be pain and suffering in this world. There's too many people having a good time. There absolutely is. Thank you, Ross. He says, I was reading about dry coughs last night and having heating on. High heat dries the air, so it makes you cough more. I leave a window on the latch in the bedroom at night, and it doesn't make me cough as much. No, there's something that at the back of my throat, I can feel it. Like probably some sort of mouldy growth going on there. I think I'm going mouldy as the years go by, you know. Sometimes I look down at my legs and there's great big green patches on them. It's very worrying. Maybe if I get some of that feed and weed stuff that you get from the garden centre and pour that down my throat, see if that works. You never know. Adrian, you should use your tea leaves for your garden. I do, but not here because there's no garden. I do that. I have a little thing next to my sink which I put all my tea leaves in at home. Nice. Look at you, all using tea bags. How terrible are you? Good morning to Joanne Smith. Good morning, Joanne. Best way to pick up tiny bits of glass is use a wet wipe. I never thought of that, Joanne. What a good idea. I've actually got floor wipes Because being small, caravan's small, it doesn't take long to get down on your hands and knees and wipe the floor like that. And I've got some of those, so I'll do that when I finish a show. I'll get a wet I never thought of that. What an excellent idea. Thank you, Joanne. See, you live and learn on this programme. You absolutely do. Ross drinks tea bags and leaves his bag in while he's drinking it, liking it strong. I'm a chav. Wow. I mean, I don't leave, not while, once I've started, I like to take the tea bag out once I've started drinking it, my dear. What if you swallow the tea bag? You could suffocate. You could block your airway hole, and then you wouldn't be able to do your radio shows anymore. Ross does radio shows. He's on reachonair.com. I can't remember when he's on, actually, but he does do radio shows, and he does them from a shed, right? And I saw on his Facebook the other day, it was very, very, very cold in the shed. He's sitting there with a coat and all that on. Haven't you got any heating in there or anything in that shed? Claire is a tea bagger. Oh, are you now? I don't think we want to talk about that sort of thing, Claire. I drink tea non-stop all day, but always tea bags. Okay, right. Let's have a look. Good morning to Paul and Lou. Congratulations on joining us this morning. Tea from Fortnum's and Mason's, Adrian. Very, very nice indeed. Yes, you're right. I quite like Harrods number 14 English breakfast tea. I've got an afternoon tea coming up in December. Me and my friend Chris are going. Chris, little chavvy Chris. Well, I say little, he's 29 now. We're going to the Mandarin Oriental for a little bit of a Christmas do, because I've been promising that for about 2 years. So that's happening. That's all booked and sorted now. Good morning to John Aitken. Morning, John. Better late than never, eh? Good morning. His internet is playing up. I've had words with Virgin Media. I've never had a problem with Virgin Media. I think in the 15 years I've been with them, it's gone down about 3 times. That's all. And never really at the house end, always outside somewhere. So that's not bad, is it? You know, for a maximum of just a few hours. Very, very good indeed service from them. But they were starting to take the mick with the prices, and I threatened to leave them. It was this year, actually. I threatened to leave them. And they waited until 2 days after the contract had finished, and I'd arranged something else, and then they rang up and matched the price. But you had to go right to the very end of your contract and 2 days after before they rang me and made the offer. And I stayed with them just for the sake of not having to have someone come in and change a wire, you see. Good morning to Mikey Mike. Is a coffee man himself. Don't like coffee. No. Bitter. Last time I had a cup of coffee was in Vegas around this time last year with my nephew, Jimmy. And we'd gone to Subway. We had some vouchers for free sandwich or cheap sandwiches or something. I can't remember. Free rolls. And I ordered tea and they had no tea. I said, he's got a coffee. Oh, have you got anything else? It was either coffee or fizzy drinks. And I can't be drinking fizzy drinks in the morning. Coca-Cola or something like that. How anyone can drink that sort of stuff in the morning, I do not know. So I had a coffee. Oh, it was bitter. Horrible stuff. And other people, I've said that to other people, and they say, why don't you just put some sugar in? No, that's completely not the point at all. We can't put sugar in. It just tastes horrible and sweet then. I think we all used to put sugar in our tea and coffee, didn't we? Years and years ago, I remember having sugar in tea, and you stop putting the sugar in, and within a week you've become used to it, and you don't need the sugar anymore. Good morning to Sledge, aka good day. You must be in Australia. What part of Australia are you in? Welcome along to the show. I think you're a new person. Welcome. We just have this little bit of fun every morning. It's nothing too serious, all right? Tony King, tea bags all the way. Time out for these people asking for late tickets. It's all over, Jason. It's all over. I think people do it just to try. I think people do things just to try and make my life difficult. That's what they do. Oh, let's have a laugh with Chris this morning and ask for a raffle ticket 30 seconds before the show starts. You know, and it's bad enough struggling to get everything working. As you well know, sometimes I forget to do things. I forget to change the date or something like that. There's a lot to do in that 2 minutes before the show while that little film's running. I'm not just sitting here. There's an awful lot to do in that time. Joanne, my mum would have called that stewed tea. Oh, yeah. What, if you leave the tea bag in there? That's too much. I do leave a tea bag in there for a fair amount of time, probably longer than others. John, Loves his Yorkshire tea bags. If I get tea leaf in my mouth, I would gag. Well, you don't get tea leaves in your mouth, dear. You got a tea strainer. Have you no idea? I thought you was a bit posh, John. Very disappointed. I thought you was a bit posh. I think I might have to pair you up with Claire for a couple of posh lessons. She'll teach you the way, darling. She'll teach you the way. John, Adrian's getting plenty of pain and punishment by watching you. Isn't that enough? I sent the email before you changed the rules. And when I got notified that you're online, you always pick on me. Absolutely. You're there to be picked on because you keep moaning all the time and being negative. You are. Fran's a coffee drinker. Morning, Fran. Oh, she's a coffee drinker. Let's have a look. Virgin are good to be fair. Right, let's just... me for coffee. Adam, have you been watching Pam Man? Me for coffee. Yorkshire tea drinker. Michael Pullman. John don't drink coffee. Sean does. Joanne remembers sugar sarnies. Sugar sandwiches. Oh, yes. Wow, it's a long time since I've had one of those. Sledge is in Sydney, Australia. One of the most beautiful cities in the world. I've been 5 times there. You get there, the British Airways plane usually gets there about 6:30 in the morning. So you go and drop your bags off in the hotel because they won't let you check in until whatever time, 10 or 2, I can't remember now. And then walk down to Sydney Opera House. Get there about 8 o'clock in the morning. You can see the sun coming over Sydney Opera House. I shall never forget sitting there that morning because, of course, I'd come from cold weather, you know, got on the plane, arrived at Australia, 24, 25 hours later, get off the plane, get your bags to the hotel, drop them in, and then walk down to the Sydney Opera House if you do that. And then you sit there, there's a bench right in front of it, and you sit there, and the sun's coming up, and it's lovely and warm. Oh, what a lovely experience. Yeah, lovely experience. Paul, will you shut up, Paul and Lou? There have to be more pain and suffering, I think. There's not enough pain and suffering on this programme. John lived in Sydney for 4 months. Beautiful place. Absolutely beautiful place. Anyway, so that was me dropped teapot. London fireworks, I see, were spoken about on this morning's BBC Breakfast Time. I don't know if any of you have ever been to the London fireworks, boys and girls, but I haven't. I have spoken to people who have been, and unless you get there really early to get at the front and are prepared to hold on to your toilet for hours, because you don't dare move from the front, people tell me it's not really worth going because all you can see is, like, you know, you're with crowds and crowds of people and all you can see is a load of flashes and smoke. Especially if you're little, you know, I'd have no chance. I'm only 5'8". But the second wave of tickets are going on sale today at 12 o'clock. If you've got a ticket, it says don't forget to plan ahead to make the most of your night. Because the other thing is, you know, if you want to go and see the London New Year's Eve fireworks, don't think you can park anywhere near there. Oh my God, it'll all be tube stations. And remember, you've got all these masses of people wanting to get on the tube at the same time. Really, it says if you don't have a ticket, remember you can't come to the event without one. There are loads of other ways to celebrate New Year's Eve in London, and it's suggested other things there. But yes, so the second wave of tickets are now for sale for the London New Year's Eve fireworks. £10 a ticket, which isn't too bad, is it really? To be honest, stay at home and watch it on the telly. To watch it on the telly and the BBC, I don't know if ITV do it, but the cameras are really well positioned and you can see everything going on there. Fantastic. Of course, if you were there and you're one of those people that can soak up the atmosphere from everyone else, then yeah, you know. But the effort you'd have to go to be getting there, and then if you got there early, of course, standing in that position, it's all very well saying, you know, get there early. What I'm saying is that you would need to get there early, and then don't think you can disappear to go to a toilet somewhere. Presumably you can use the toilets in pubs or something else, but you come from that position, go to the toilet, by the time you got back there, you won't get back to that same position. You know, don't eat or drink anything for 24 hours before the event. That is my advice to you. And the official advice of United Kingdom Talk. Awful. All right, so that's the London fireworks. Now, talking to smoke, Sledge, who's in Sydney, one of our new viewers this morning, covered in smoke at the moment. We saw the news stories about the bushfires very near Sydney at the moment. You have a lot of those over there over the last few years, don't you? My cousin, he's works in the police over there. He's quite high up in the police force over there. He's been with them for years. And where was I going with that story? I was talking about fires then, wasn't I? Why have I mentioned my cousin? I can't remember now. Anyway, he's quite high up in a bit. So he did Sydney, and then he's been all over the place. Paraguay, I think he's been working in Paraguay, training other people and things like that. Yeah. But Sydney Harbour, the fireworks on Sydney Harbour again. Of course, most of us won't be there in Sydney, will we? But again, on the television, fantastic watching all these fireworks and all that on the telly. Fran also agrees to watching the fireworks on the telly. All those people in one place. Oh, we get on my nerves. And Heidi as well, watching it on the telly there. Yes, that's it. Yeah, I remember now. My cousin was telling me it seems to be getting hotter and hotter in Australia in the summer months, which of course I think they're in summer now. Am I right then in saying, or you're just about to come into summer? Is it November, December, January, or December, January, February, or summer? I've been there. I don't think I've been. Yes, I have. I have been in there in the height of summer. Oh, it was so hot. It was so hot. I never forget. I was with my cousin, walking. We'd been to Manly on the boat. You know, across that big thing of water, and it was quite rough. It was bouncing out. Not rough so much. The swell of the ocean was going up and down like that. Anyway, we've been to Manly. We came back, and we're walking to the shopping centre in Sydney. I can't remember what it was called now. Thank you, Sam458 has sent a super chat. Thank you, Sam. Oh, I'm rich this morning. I've got about £6 now. Thank you very much, Sam. Sam458 sending a super chat of £2 there. Thank you, Sam. Yes, and we were walking back to the shopping centre. Was it Westfield? That was it, Westfield. They've got Westfields all over the world. I think it must be an Australian company. I've got a feeling it's Australian. And we're walking down there, and the sun was on me, and it was the middle of the afternoon. And I'm now starting to feel a bit odd. And I said to my cousin, I said, right, we need to go into the shopping centre now. She said, oh, well, we'll just go around. I said, no, we need to get in there now. I'm feeling really odd. Because the sun was straight on me. And I'm a bit bald there, so that doesn't help either. So we popped into the shopping centre. And, of course, as soon as you go through the doors, it's nice and cool. I don't know what the temperature was out there. Probably must have been about 95, 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So 30, 35 centigrade, something like that. And it wasn't so much the heat. It was this sun that was just beating down on top of me all the time. And we got into the shopping centre, and I found a bean bag. You know where the pillars are? What holds up the shopping centre? There were like bean bags, I think, great big bean bags dotted around. And I sat in one of those, and I remained there for half an hour cooling down. Oh, it was so hot in there. There we are. Sledge says, summer officially starts on the 1st of December, but already hot here. Yes, Westfield is Australian. I thought they were. I thought they've all. Good morning to Yvonne Lemon. Morning, Yvonne. You're a bit late up this morning, are you, my darling? John, my sister's in Perth. 38 degrees yesterday. I was there when it was 44 on Christmas Day. That would be too much for me. No, Joanne couldn't do the heat. I couldn't do that heat. 44 degrees. I'd be inside. Yeah, I don't think I'd come out the house. Must be awful when the electricity goes. Does the electricity go off much in Australia? I suppose it depends where you are, really. We don't really have that problem here much anymore. Electricity going off ever. But to be in that heat, 44, no. My niece is living in Cyprus at the moment. She's had 40-degree days over the summer period. Too much. 23 in UK is okay for me. Yeah, Joanna, 23, 25, 26. Once you start going over 26, it starts to get a little bit too much for me as well. That being said, I'd rather it hot than cold. I can't stand the cold weather. Can't bear the cold weather. Yeah, in Sydney, they do get blackouts now and again. So there we are. John spent most of the day in the pool. Is that in your Speedos, John? Did you... Was that in your little Speedos, mate? Anyway, one of the other things, of course, if you've got a flat or a house in London, for the fireworks near the river, I mean, you could make a bit of money out of that, couldn't you? You could rent out your living room. Oh, yeah, come and watch the fireworks from my living room. We're served tea and chocolates and hot dogs and things like that. Yeah, £10 each, please. But nice little way to make you money. Incidentally, for our American friends, happy Thanksgiving Day. It's Thanksgiving Day today in America, so I meant to mention that right at the beginning of the show. I was watching the news earlier. Some of those politicians, they must be tired. You just imagine being like Jeremy Corbyn or Boris Johnson or that mad Liberal woman. What's her name? Jo. What planet is she on? I wish she'd keep her blooming hands still. Every time she talks, she's like this and she's like that and she's not like that. And I'm thinking, will you keep your hands still, dear? And she keeps talking like this. I can't stand her. I'm not a fan of Corbyn, but I can't bear that Jo woman. She's just on another planet altogether, isn't she? God help us if they... Absolutely no chance at all. Jo, what's her name? Swinton. Is there something wrong with her? Has she got some sort of mental disability or something like that? Christ, she does get on my nerves. Is it me or is there anyone else who can't stand her? I can't bear her. I can't bear that blooming Liberal woman. Mikey, it's easier to warm yourself up than cool yourself down. Certainly is, Mikey. Even in a bed with a very small duvet on. Yes, you can snuggle up there, get into the fetal position like that in your bed, and nice and warm. How you getting on with your Amazon Echo? Fantastic, Adam. We talked extensively about that in yesterday's show. Morning to Jerry Millen. Good morning to you, Jerry Millen. Sledge wants to see the photos of John in his Speedos. Yeah, well, you might want to go back about 20 years ago there, Sledge. He was good looking 20 or so years ago. There you are, Fran. She's too false for me. I think that's the word there, false. False. Tony King talking about Jo Swinton. She's a nut job. Now, we don't do politics on here. I don't want to get into the Liberal, the Labour and the Conservative policies. We're just talking about persons here, personalities. I think, I've got to tell you, I think Jeremy Corbyn, I think his heart's in the right place. Absolutely. I absolutely think his heart's in the right place. But am I a fan of his stuff? No, not really. Of him as a person, I don't know. I mean, I don't really dislike Jeremy. No, I don't dislike Boris, but I do dislike Jo. Can't bear her. Oh, and I'm watching them on the telly, and I'm thinking, will you shut up and keep your hands still, dear? Can't bear her. Who's that interviewer? He's ripping everyone apart at the moment. Andrew Neil, is it? Is it Andrew Neil? Someone like that? Andrew Castle? What's his name? The BBC bloke. He's got a bit of a paunch. He sits there in that leather chair. He's absolutely ripping them apart. Every single one of them. Ripping them apart at the moment. I wonder if he does all his own research and all that. You know, when he comes out with this list of things. Right, you said this. You haven't done any of it. And he comes out with stuff like that. He's very good. Very good. What's his name? Andrew Maher. Thank you, John. Andrew Maher. Fran agrees with me. Yeah, I absolutely think Jeremy Corbyn's heart is in the right place. I really do. I really don't want to do the policy thing because then people argue and things like that. Have you said to Alexa, I love you, and heard her response? Yes, dear. She's the only person that says she loves me, dear, to be honest. That's right. Have got an election coming out with Fuzzy Boris. Is that what you call him, Fuzzy Boris? Oh, because of the hair. His hair's always all over the place. Haven't these people heard about hairspray? Get a little bit of hairspray on that blonde hair of his. Thank you, Mikey. Andrew Maher is the interviewer bloke there. Good. We've got some raffle tickets coming up for you in a little bit, boys and girls. I noticed I keep getting a message up now. I've got a really old computer down here. The one that you're watching me through is a refurbished one. Okay, so it's not new, but the new ones were really expensive. So I looked up refurbished computers, and that's how I'm talking to you. And that's very powerful. The other one that I read my news stories off is really old. And it takes, you know, when you get up a web page, it takes a while for it to come up. It doesn't flash up on the screen. And You've seen me sometimes when I hit the music and there's a long pause to when it starts playing. That's the old laptop. Sorry, not the old laptop, the old desktop that I've got next to me. And it's Windows 7. There's only 4 gig of RAM in it and stuff like that. I keep getting this message pop up saying, oh, that's creaky, that chair, isn't it? This message keeps popping up telling me that they're going to stop support of the Windows 7. And I've been looking around and I'm thinking I might get... you can get a Windows 10 refurbished computer for 60 quid, 60 or 70 quid. So I might do that. I might do it. I mean, it's working to a point at the moment, but to speed things up, you know, to make it a little bit faster, I might do that, because if they're stopping this, it worries me when they stop the support for stuff, and then that means you don't get any more security issues and stuff like security updates and things like that, don't you? John's just given away 3 Apple laptops to charity. Yeah, I've given stuff away before, computers and that, old laptops and things like that. What's the point? People hold on to stuff, you know. If you've updated something, you don't need it anymore, don't put it in a cupboard. Go and find someone that would make use of it. There's so much stuff thrown away. The same with clothes and stuff like that. Why put it in the bin? You know, you might know... Okay, you might have like a poor family near you or something like that. I would say to you, it might be a little bit embarrassing for them, for you to knock on the door. Hello, I've got some old clothes. Do you want them? Why not just put them in a bag and leave them outside the front door? Then they can do what they like and they don't know it's come from you and there's no embarrassment. You know? Might be a good idea. And I have given away a couple of laptops, because the laptops I use for work, for my karaoke, I'll use them for 3 years, then I'll upgrade them. You know, I can't have the problem of something breaking down. That being said, the one that I'm using now, it went wrong once, didn't it? And I had to reformat the whole thing. Oh, what a nightmare that was. Let's have a look. There's no... We're not doing politics, Sean. We're talking of personalities, dear. Andrew Maher. It's Andrew Neil. Is it Andrew Neil? Some people are saying Andrew Maher. Some people are saying Andrew Neil. Oh, I'm not sure who it is. Good morning, Paul. Morning, Paul. Okay. So I'm not quite sure that it must... Is it Andrew Maher does Sunday? Andrew Neil's been doing the evening shows. Oh, okay. I'm just trying to picture them in my head. I can see Andrew... I can see the nighttime one. He's got a bit of a paunch and glasses. Yes, and the Sunday one, he's got a very thin face. Didn't he have a heart attack or a stroke? He had a stroke, the Sunday one. Yeah, there's 2 Andrews. They should have different names. How dare they confuse us like that? It's outrageous. There you go. John's had a clothes clear out and gave them to the homeless charity. Was that because they were old, or did they just not fit you anymore, lovey? Which is it? Oh, I am awful. I'm dreadful this morning. I don't know what's wrong with me. You would have think after 2 hours last night doing a show, I would have run out of things to say, wouldn't you? Joanne took her laptop into the gazebo to use it to listen in the hot tub to music. Now half the keys don't work. I had that. Oh, how annoying is that? I had a keyboard and the S wouldn't work. Was it the S or a number? Might have been the number 5, and the number 5 wouldn't work. So annoying, right? So that I didn't have to buy a new keyboard. I've done it now, but so I didn't have to buy a new keyboard, I would go on the web page, type in the number 5, press enter, and you know, the word 5, F-I-V-E. Press enter, and a web page there would be somewhere with a number 5, and I would then copy and paste that into whatever, so I didn't have to spend £6 on a new keyboard. Yeah, and Andy Maher had a stroke, did he? Yes, I remember that. He recovered from that all right, didn't he? My father had a couple of strokes. He recovered from one, and the second one kind of got him, unfortunately. You know, that would be 1996. Gosh, how those years fly by. And here we are, you know. We're less than... What is it? Is Advent this week? Is it Advent this week? It is, isn't it? What do you mean, what is Advent? Heathens everywhere. Do we have any Catholics watching this programme? Heathens everywhere. Dear me. Advent, 4 weeks before Christmas. The preparation for the arrival of the Lord. Away in a manger, no crib for a bed, and all that. Lovely. Where's Rachel today? I don't know where she is today. She probably got fed up last night of me chatting. She had too much. Joanne is an atheist. She don't believe in anything, do you, darling? Right, can we do a couple of stories there this morning? Tesla, technology story. We do like a technology story. Now, this is interesting. How many of you have got a car? And how many of you have got windscreen wipers on your car? Have you got them? Shh, 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 shh. Or in very bad weather? Shh, 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 shh. Or in extremely bad weather? Shh, 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 shh. Or in just a little bit of damp? Shh. Shh. Who's got windscreen wipers on the car? Joanne doesn't drive. Well, Tesla. Tesla, that's that Elon Musk bloke, isn't he? Very clever man, made a lot of money, very rich. But I actually don't think it's the money to him. He's, of course, the money makes a part of it. And because he's got so much money that he's able to do what he does. But he's all for moving things forward all the time. I think he's a brilliant man. Someone I'd like to meet, Elon Musk. Tesla, that he owns, wants to replace traditional windscreen wipers with laser beams. Wow! A new patent from the California company Tesla describes a cleaning system that targets and zaps away debris from rear view mirrors, window panels and windshields automatically. The technology automatically senses when the driver's view is obstructed using an image processing techniques and sensors in and outside of the vehicle. The beam optics assembly, which is what it's called, could be used to clean solar panels as Tesla rolled out its own panels 2 years ago. How fantastic is that? So you just imagine that. Let me have my pills. You just imagine that you're sitting there driving a car and all these little laser beams are firing at the window. I don't suppose you'd see the laser beams. I mean, do they have to be like red or green, or can they be clear so that you can't see them? Huh? It says the patent is called pulsed laser cleaning of debris accumulated on glass articles in vehicles and photovoltaic assemblies. That's the patent. That's what it's called. It's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? It's been applied for earlier this year. Published on November the 21st, just a few days ago, as reported by Electrek. This is in the Daily Mail this morning. The document describes a cleaning system for a vehicle, includes a beam optics assembly that emits a laser beam to irradiate a region on a glass article of the vehicle, debris detection circuitry that detects debris and accumulated over the region, and control circuitry. So this thing would be flashing all over the place, wouldn't it? The system is designed to target all areas of the car that are used by the driver to see. I think that's fantastic. This includes the windshields, in-vehicle camera lenses, side windows and rear view mirrors. One of the things I've got on my car, I've got a Toyota, is a little camera on the back, which is great. But when it rains, it seems to get covered in water, and then when you go into reverse, you look at the little screen in there, and it's difficult to see because it's all got like water drips on it. So presumably this would be useful for something like that. The camera is very, very small. Like it's like that. I mean, there's no room for a windscreen wiper on it or anything like that. It says the cleaning apparatus provides a fast, robust and chemical-free solution to clean different glass articles in vehicles and solar panels, reads the patent. The solution can be integrated with other cleaning solutions that use wipers, waters or air sprays or chemical solutions to clean glass articles. That's great. It doesn't explain how the technology would react during a rainstorm or if the laser would affect the driver's vision. So it says, the story goes on, Tesla has had a few ideas that sounded good on paper but failed when it became a reality. I don't know if you saw it. He had a car out. It was he called it, I think he said it was a truck, but I mean it looks like a like a car. He's got a new truck thing out. It looks really odd. I mean, it certainly looks futuristic. That's all I can say. But it looks like something that it would pull up alongside you and you'd be scared of what was about to get out. You're like some sort of robot or something with a gun. Anyway, he brought this onto the stage, I think it was last week or the week before, as an unbreakable glass, right? At which point someone got something, threw it at the glass and it smashed. How embarrassing is that? Please don't throw things at me if you don't mind, okay? John's got his Galaxy Advent Calendar. You naughty man, all that chocolate, dear. Stella wins. Good morning, Stella. People who don't know what Advent is need to discover books. Absolutely, Stella. They do. Advent, the 4 days before Christmas. Hello to fun things to do with tech. Can I have the coffee you're drinking? Because it seems he's on the wrong drugs. What coffee is this? Water, dear. Water. Water. I shall need a cup of tea very soon, though. The Tesla car looks bad. Yeah, Joanne's seen it. Doesn't it look odd, that car? I don't like the look of that one. United Kingdom Talk Advent calendars. There is United Kingdom Talk... No, incorrect. There are calendars coming out very soon. They have now been half printed. I saw them yesterday. It's not just me on them. Okay, there's 6 YouTubers that my brother-in-law has got together, and we've got 2 months each. There are 2 pictures of me in the calendar. I mean, what more could you want for Christmas? What an ideal Christmas gift for your friends, but not available quite yet. Not available yet. Okay, they'll be going out for, I think it's £9.99 or 10 quid super chat. Not now. Please don't send one now. I did have accidentally advanced orders from some people. I've got the list here, so don't worry. Some people have already sent their £10 in for one of those, but they're really not available yet. And I'm not sure exactly how many I'm getting, so they will be coming out soon. Thank you for mentioning those. Joanne says that car looks ugly. It is ugly. It's horrible. It's very futuristic, but it has no personality, does it? A little bit like watching people from reality TV shows. No personality, you know. Dare I mention Gemma Collins? Oh, dear. How long does a YouTube show go on for? As long as, really. Sometimes 45 minutes, sometimes 2 hours. You never know. This particular one is coming to an end soon, and we're going to do the raffle tickets shortly. I'll tell you about the raffle tickets in a moment, because there's a couple of new people there today. Stella's never owned a car. The Tesla is beautiful to me. Oh, yeah, you must mean the Model 3s and things like that. There's an Model X. There are several Tesla cars. This is a Tesla truck that is bought out, and it looks really odd. This only came out a couple of weeks ago. I know the ones you mean. The Model X. Oh, it's beautiful. It's not big, that Model X, you know. I would love an electric car. I would love an electric car. But it was a bloke on the telly or the radio last night and saying, you know, if you want an electric car, you really are paying a big premium for it. Very much cheaper to run than petrol. But you've got to have the money up the front to be able to do it. You know, say goodbye to a minimum of £25,000. Who's got that to spend on a car? Well, there's one person on here, I'm sure there will be actually, who will remain nameless. Sean would love the new 4x4 Tesla. That's not the one I'm looking at, is it? If anyone can send him a super chat and he'll save it up. There you go. All right. John was chatting to his neighbour, Jarvis Cocker, yesterday. He's such a lovely guy. Oh, Jarvis Cocker. You know all the stars, don't you? You know all the stars there. Heidi's taking us downstairs. He's gonna. I'm a breakfast show in Heidi's house, aren't I? That's it. That's it. Right, let's just scroll down a little bit there. Adrian's going to leave his bag rolled clothes by your car on Friday. Thank you, Adrian. Get me some decent cars. Sam458 sends a second £2 super chat today. Oh, wow. A second £2. Where's my thing gone? 1 minute. There it is. There it is. I like it when super chat comes on, because when someone sends a super, I can quickly mute the mic and have a bit of a cough so that you can't hear me. Thank you very much, Sam. He wants to know, how many YouTube channels have I got? Me? Well, this is like the main one. I've got one where I play religious hymns and music. That's just me playing on the keyboard. There's no chat like this. And I've also got one where I was doing little comedy things to do more interesting than watching Love Island. I think you can find, and Karaoke London. So I've got those four or five channels. Okay, this is the only one that you can send super chats on. You can't do it on any of the others, and I don't chat on any of the others or anything like that. This is like the chat show. Okay, so this is the one with the most, by far the most subscribers. But if you want to find my other channels, give them a go. If you like a little bit of religious music, you know, it's not for everyone. Hymns mainly I play. And I'm not a professional organist or anything like that. I just kind of have a go. I do play the organ at church every 4 or 5 weeks. Which reminds me, I haven't had an email back from the bishop yet. I offered my service to other churches. For nothing. I could never charge the church to be playing the organ. Some people have made have a career out of playing the organ at churches and cathedrals. I do it as a sort of, you know, I go to church, so this is what I'm offering you for nothing, sort of thing. Do you get it? You know what I mean, don't you? So I'm not professional, but if you want to watch those channels, I think you should be able to find, if where you're watching this channel now, kind of make the screen a bit smaller if it's holding the whole screen. And I think in the bottom right hand corner, perhaps one of you can tell me this, in the bottom right hand corner you will see featured channels, and among those you will see Karaoke London. That's on Mondays at 7:30 and Fridays at 8:30. There's things to do more interesting than watching Love Island. I've actually finished making those now, so they're like little comedy things. Love Island is a reality TV show that I find extremely boring. So it's things to do instead of watching that, okay, which should amuse one or two of you. And then there's the religious hymns and music one. So they're all my channels. They used to be all on the one channel, and I thought I'd separate them out. And that kind of makes more sense. So that's how many channels I've got there, Sam. Thanks for asking, okay? Yes, Adrian's going to leave his bag rolled clothes by my car on Friday. DJ that might fit, so that I never moan or criticise. I just point out people's defects when they're annoying me. There you go. That's negative. Pointing out people's defects, dear. Have you ever heard me mention anyone's defects on this programme, Adrian? No, is the answer to that. I would never do a thing like that. Morning to Roy the boy. Good morning, Roy. Joining us a little bit late. Have you only just got up, Roy? Roy is on the calendar as well. When those calendars come out, Roy the boy will be on the calendars as well. Okay, manufactured reality TV shows. I can't stand them. I really can't. You know, when you see these things like Love Island and that, do you really think that they're rowing like that all the time? No, the producers are telling them, oh, there's not enough rowing. You need to row today. It's all manufactured absolute crap. And there is no talent. And yet the television people, they see these people on there and then they pluck them out and they start putting them, give them their own radio shows and things like that. Dreadful. Big Brother, even the whole jungle celebrity. Now and again I'll dip in and out of that, but I don't watch that as a regular thing, you know. Don't watch it as a regular thing there. Where are we now? Can you put pictures up on the dartboard? Pictures of what? What, me? I don't have a dartboard here. Don't have a dartboard. Let's have a look. Do you get PayPal? Me? Yeah, I have PayPal. I do. I use that actually to buy a lot of stuff, PayPal. It's so much easier with that one click, isn't it, than putting your credit cards and all that business in. I've got that connected to one of my credit cards, so that's how that works. John's got a little koala. Oh, how lovely. How lovely. Little koala bear. Here's my little koala bear. That was sent to me by... Who gave me this? I can't remember who gave me this. But there we are. It's a little koala bear. We changed things. That my nephew won me that at Haven Holiday. Didn't he? Sam, you've just sent me another £2, £6 today. God. Have you won the lottery? Sam, have you won the lottery? I think... What bike have you got? Is it a Carrier? Ooh. I don't know now. I don't buy ultra expensive bikes. I did buy a really cheap one once, right? That was I think it was £99 years ago. I think that come from Argos, and a number of years passed, but nevertheless, I was cycling along, and suddenly it went down like that, and the welding had come apart from the frame and the wheel. I thought if I'd have been hurtling down a road, that could have been really dangerous. The actual welding came apart on the frame. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, I never bought another cheap one. So the last bike I bought has got to be about 20 years ago. 15 to 20 years ago. It might be a Carrier, actually. Cost me £250. And I've had a bike since I was a small child. For years and years and years I've had a bike. And I tend to cycle around at home all the time. If I go to the shops or to church or somewhere like that, I usually get the bike out, yeah. But I have got a problem with one of my knees. And actually, funnily enough, the other one was playing up the other day for the first time. One of my knees at the side, I have a problem. If I cycle and it can start hurting, apparently there's a ligament down there. And I looked it up. It's been going on for some years, actually. Is it getting any worse? I wouldn't say it's getting any worse, no, but it's not. It never gets better. Apparently, there's a ligament down there, and it's a very well-known thing that if you've been cycling a long time, this ligament doesn't get stretched properly, or I'm not quite sure exactly. I'm not a medical type person, and that's what that is. So I am thinking at some point of getting an electric bike. I don't want to push a button and for it to do all the work though. Right? Because then what's the point of having a bike? You might as well just get in the car. I want it to take a bit of pressure off that particular side of my leg. That being said, I don't know if that would cure the problem. I mean, is it the pressure going down, or is it simply the fact that the leg's going round? In which case, an electric bike with assisted pedalling wouldn't help, would it? More of a gentle pedal rather than a hard pedal if the electricity is taking some of the effort out of it. But I wouldn't want a fully electric bike where I just push a button and it whizzes along. Much fun that it would be, but then what's the point? The whole point of having a bike is that you get a bit of exercise, isn't it? Okay. Where are we? Do you watch The Apprentice? Again, that's something I dip in and out of. I like Alan Sugar. I do like Alan Sugar. I'm not so keen on the contestants. I mean, they're so far up their own bums. It's unbelievable, isn't it? Some of that lot. And they would just step on anyone to get where they want to go. Mustn't they? Good morning to Jake Hook. Good morning, Jake. Long time no see. Hello, Jake. Are you still doing your chat show? You and your friend doing your chat show. Jake was doing a chat show, very similar to this, but a double-header thing, talking about mainly gay issues and things like that. Well, I don't really do those on the show. We just talk about life in general here, but he was more specialist. So, Jake, are you still doing your show there? Good morning to Brenda from Bristol. My God, look at the time. 10:20, and you've just turned up, dear. Sam458 sends another super chat. Is that £8 you've sent me today, Sam? Are you in love with me, Sam? Are you? Have you got two bikes? I have got two bikes actually. One is at the house. That was the £250 one 20 years ago, and I've got one here at the caravan. Right, only cost me £30, second-hand bike, and it's black. Right, and the idea of the bike here was that I'd be able to cycle to my sister. But it's like an hour and 20 minutes. It isn't so bad if you're just doing it one way. But then I have to cycle back to the caravan. It's like 2.5 hours. And my God, are you knackered after that? Not only that, although it's a £30 bike, it's all right for doing short journeys. There's no suspension on it. And you go over a bump and I've hurt your arse. So, yes, I do have two bikes. And the last one, I've had that about a year, £30. There's a bloke down there. Around here in Lincolnshire, you often find stuff outside houses and a little table and like a plate or something like that, and people selling stuff. And I think there's a bloke just down the road there, and he buys bikes from what they called auctions, places like that, and then sells them outside his house. He just leaves them out there. No one nicks them. Nothing gets nicked round here, you know. No one nicks them. So you just go past it and you say, "Oh, that's a nice bike." It was my nephew actually that spotted it, and he said, "There's a bike here for sale, £30. Do you want it?" I said, "Yeah, go on then." So I get that. That was all right, wasn't it? Eh? Nice cheap bike. Morning to Brenda from Bristol is at Oh, is it the Bristol Heart Hospital? I've been referred for an ultrasound. Oh, well, good luck on that one. Good luck on that. Lewis on The Apprentice is rather hot. Oh, I don't know who he is. I don't think I've watched it that much to know. I think, what was the last thing I watched? They were making ice cream or ice lollies. That was the last one. And she'd put rosemary in this lolly, frozen it, and it was sticking out the top. It was awful. Awful lollies. Roy the boy went to the same school as Alan Sugar in Hackney. Oh, in different years, so you didn't actually know him. I think he's a great bloke, actually. He's worked from nothing. I've got great respect for that Alan Sugar bloke. I really have. Ah, there's Jake. We've just started doing the chat show again. We've moved house. It's taken me an age to set up the equipment again. Are you on YouTube? So if people click on the 3 dots, it says go to channel. Is that where your channel is, Jake? Or are you only on Facebook? Which is it? Or are you on both? Are you on both? Lots of people wishing Mick good luck there. Thank you very much. Let's have a look. Right. Hold on to your messages for a second, boys and girls. Unless I've asked you a question, and we'll get the raffle tickets ready. Okay. Adrian, get a new leg. Good idea. I don't think it's my knees that have gone. It's that ligament down the side. And because of the years and years of cycling, I don't think it's a quick fix to get it working properly again. You can stretch your leg out. When the knee goes, okay, I can be on the bike, generally on the bike, and then it started hurting. I can no longer then push down hard with that leg. So then the right leg's kind of doing all the work. Then if I get off the bike, and if I go and sort of kneel down or walk up or down stairs, I have to be very careful because it's great pain in that ligament. The cure of it at the time is to keep the leg straight, so it doesn't. It's on bending that the problem is. It's when you bend and it's down. It's so if your knees, if that's my left knee, the problem is here down the side. You see. All right. Right, where are we now? Get these tickets ready. Righty-ho, stand by everyone, stand by. Let's move that there. Yvonne said, can you get Rachel on? How am I supposed to do that? I don't know her phone number. Right, here we go. Is it Thursday today? No show tomorrow. Okay, we don't do a show Fridays when we're up here. That's because there just isn't enough time for me to do a show on Friday mornings. So I'll be back with you Saturday morning after that. Oh my God, another £2 from Soups. Sam, have you won the lottery, dear? Have you won the lottery, Sam? I think you must have won the lottery today. You should get a moped. Well, you see, the moped again. You're not pushing pedals around, are you? You see? An electric bike, I've been told by a couple of people with knee and leg problems to get an electric bike. And as I say, you know, it takes away some of the effort. It doesn't stop you. If you don't pedal, you know, there's different settings on it. So that's what I've been told there. Right, okay, let's do raffle tickets. Who wants a raffle ticket? Excuse me, I'll mick up in there. Who wants a raffle ticket? Mark Bowles, here we go. Ticket number 174 for Mark Bowles. Thank you, Mark. It's nice to see you back. I mean that. It's nice to see you back. Nice to see you. What are you doing with your hair, by the way, Mark? What are you doing with your hair? Thank you, Mark. Jason Hughes, 175. Because of our new viewers, let me just tell you, the raffle tickets are for the raffle, which is every Monday morning, sometime between 9 and 10 o'clock UK time. You can win one of these fridge magnets. There's only 25 of these left now. Once they're gone, they're gone. We'll replace them with something else. But if you want one of these, you need a raffle ticket. You can buy one, £10,000. We might do a Black Friday deal on Saturday, because we're not here Friday, if you see what. Might do a Black Friday deal on these, okay? So keep an eye out on Saturday morning when we're here Saturday, okay? So the other way to do it is most people, everyone in fact, wins one of these by the raffle. The raffle draw is on Monday between 9 and 10 o'clock. You can get yourself a raffle ticket for every single show, okay? And you can claim your raffle ticket up to 1 hour before the start of the next show. Okay, so for example, today's show started at 9:10. You could claim your raffle ticket up to 8:10, because I need a bit of time in between the two, because it just becomes impossible. It gets silly. People claiming a ticket 1 minute before the start of the next show. All right, and that's how it works. And you can claim your raffle ticket for every show. You don't necessarily have to be with us live. If you're watching a recording of the show, then simply email me for a raffle ticket to that email address there. Say, Chris, please can I have a raffle ticket, and put today's date on there. You must put the date of the show that you're claiming for, okay? 28th of November. Otherwise, with old emails in the system, it can get confusing. And then I will reply to your email with your raffle ticket number. Okay? That's it. And as I say, get one raffle ticket for every show. If there's a show every day, you'll end up with 7 raffle tickets, and the raffle is on Monday. There is also a super draw where we have all the raffle tickets for that month in another pot, which will actually be on Saturday, except for this week's ones. Saturday, 28, 29, 30, yeah. So the super draw will be on Saturday morning, where we pick another raffle ticket out of all those raffle tickets for an extra chance, okay, to win one of those. So there we are. Jason Hughes is 175. I've only got 11 likes this morning. How disappointing, Fran. Can we have some more likes, please? Thank you. Brenda, this is Mick's wife. Mick said thank you. That's okay. There you go. Mick's thanking everyone. Mick's wife's thanking everyone for that. Jason. Roy the boy, thank you. 176. Roy the boy, 176. Yeah, mopeds, Sam. Do you pedal mopeds? No, they just go, don't they? Are they petrol mopeds, aren't they? Or you can get electric mopeds now, can you? I saw an electric scooter. You can get electric scooters, can't you? John Aitken, 177, John. John Aitken, thank you, John. Michael Pullman, 178. Diane Jebb, 179. Brenda from Bristol, 180. 181 for SOS Gold. Mark Bowles is off to the gym now. Cheerio, Mark. Yeah, go and try and look a bit fitter, my darling. And when you come out of there, have a proper haircut as well. Raffle ticket for Fran Green, 182. Excuse me. 183 for our lovely Claire. 184 for Mr. Tony King. 185 for Mike Responto. 186 for Sean Pye. 187 for Sam458. Thank you for your super chats today, Sam. It's very, very kind of you. Very kind indeed. Yvonne Lemon, 188. Heidi, 189. Adam the Plumber, 190. Oh, didn't get enough tickets out. I didn't think there was that many of you there today. Funny, isn't it? Sometimes, because I don't keep an eye on numbers. I know some of the other YouTubers worry really a lot about their numbers. It's nice to have as many people as possible watching, but I don't really keep an eye on the numbers, so I never know really how many of you are there. So there we are. Let's pull out another strip there. Adam the Plumber. Where's Adam gone? There he is. Yvonne Lemon. Yvonne Lemon. There we are. Just a second. Get myself sorted out there. Yvonne, you've already got one. 188. Did you ask twice, darling? Please only ask one for your raffle tickets. I'll let you know once I've got to the bottom of the list, okay? In case we've missed anyone out. Oh, that's kind of thrown me a bit. Just a second. There we are. Mark, done my hair different colours for the darts. Oh, he was on telly over the weekend. Was ya? Is there a darts programme on it? I remember, oh, great darts players. What was his name? Great big bloke he was. Bristow. Eric Bristow. Is he still around? I remember seeing him on the telly when I was a kid. Eric Bristow, yes. Thank you, Mark, who says it's good to be back. It's nice to have you back, Mark. Joey Millen is 191. Thank you, Joey. Good morning to Joseph. Another lovely day in España. Adrian Richardson, 182. Sorry, 192 for you, Adrian. 192. Joseph McDonald. 193. Sam 458. Oh, you got yours, Sam, there. 187 for you, Sam. Okay. John says, am I ever going to win a fridge magnet? Who knows, John? You have to just keep trying, darling. Some people have won too. You know, so it's just how it is. Whatever ticket comes out of the ticket thing. I looked for a ticket machine, actually. When I say a ticket machine, I don't mean an electronic one. You know, something that I could have going around at the back and then one drops out or something like that. But number one, I can't find an electric one. And I did find a see-through, like, Perspex one, but it was very expensive. It was like nearly 200 quid for this thing, you know, going, and besides, it wasn't electric. I want an electric where I push a button and it would be turning round there for like 5 minutes before, and then it would stop and we'd just pull a ticket out, but I couldn't find an electric one. My friend Adam the plumber, who's with us today, he suggested a Moulinex mixer would look quite fun, but I don't think it. I think the tickets would get mucked up at the bottom. It's got to be tumbled, you know, tumbled, rather than have something in there mixing it up. It just wouldn't work, I don't think. But thanks for the suggestion there. He's been on Mark's. He's been on ITV. Oh, he's dead now, is he? Old Eric Bristol. He was a big lad, weren't he? He was a big lad. He was. He died at the darts venue he was attending. Did he? It's not a bad way to go, is it? You know, to die doing something you love. I wish I hadn't said that now. Sam, God, another fight. You've spent about £12 today, Sam. My holiday was great. We're talking about the holiday actually extensively on Saturday and Sunday's show this week. If you want to sort of scroll back on the YouTube, you know where to find the YouTube things, don't you? So just have a look on there when we're talking about the holiday and all that. And it was great. The only thing I would say is that the bed was uncomfortable in the bungalow that I was renting. But apart from that, everything else was great. It was like to be with the children again. You know, my niece and her 3 children. That was really nice. We got my niece and two great nephews. The little one, James, George, who's 7, and Emily, who's 6. And they're always a scream. Always a scream. All right. When is Thanksgiving? It's now, Adam. We mentioned that in the show earlier. Now, I think it's now, or whatever time it is in America at the moment. Thanksgiving is today. I'm sure it is. Okay. A Tombola roller. Yeah. Well, I found a Perspex one, but they were really dear. To have one that you can't see, I think, would be a bit pointless. Might as well carry on with bowl at the moment. This is how we pick the raffle tickets out at the moment, as you know. I just mix them up in here on camera so that you can see everything. There's nothing dodgy going on. A wooden tombola, they're not too expensive, but I'd want something that you can see in, and I'd want it to be automatic so it would go around on its own in the background. I mean, I'll probably find someone, I suppose, if I looked hard enough, that could make me something like that, couldn't I? All right, Adam. Eric Bristol wasn't that big of a person. Are you on about Andy Fordham? No, I think it was Eric Bristol. I'm sure it was. He was a big lad. Actually, a lot of those darts players are big lads, aren't they? All right, let's do today's birthdays, boys and girls. And it looks like I've got to the end of the raffle tickets. Okay? If I've missed you out, please speak now. Okay? If you think I've missed you out and you haven't got your raffle ticket that you are entitled to, okay, remember, you get a raffle ticket for every show. Please speak now and I will correct that after we've done today's birthday. Oh, it's Friday tomorrow. So I do today's birthdays and tomorrow's birthdays because we're not here on Friday, okay? So today's birthdays, 29 years old today is Mr. Eric Deng. Eric Deng, good morning. And a very happy birthday to you, sir. Alastair Kemp, good morning, Alastair. It says you're 80 years old today. Happy birthday, Alastair. Dave Fielding's birthday today. Good morning. Mark Briggs. Good morning, Mark. Happy birthday to you. Christopher Robert Young. Love that New York hat you've got on there, Chris. Happy birthday to you. And Lewis. Hello, Lewis. Lewis Roy. He was a regular at the Black Cap. He used to come in with his friend. Oh, what's his name? I can see his face. Was it Tom? Was it Tom? I can't remember who your friend was now, Eric, Lewis. But nice to see you pop up there. You must be in your 40s now as well, I would guess, weren't you? What were you then? Early 20s, I think you were, when you were coming in the black cap. Happy birthday today to Lewis Roy. Okay, they're today's birthdays. And tomorrow's birthdays. So these are the birthdays for Friday, the 29th of November. Will McKay. Morning, Will. 50 years old on Friday. That's tomorrow. Happy birthday for tomorrow, Will. Kyra Jamie Lee. Good morning. Happy birthday tomorrow. Alfie Divine. Good morning, Alfie. Nice to see her. He's raising money for autism support, ADHD as well. Good morning to Alfie. 31 years old tomorrow. Mark Litton. He was one of the black cap bar staff who I worked with some years ago. Just these years that are going by. Good morning, Mark. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Rob Lambeth for tomorrow. And Richard Barron. My God, 40 years old are you now, Rich? Wow. Richard. And he's got children. And I've never actually met Richard. I met him kind of from being on here and doing these shows. And we had quite a lot of communication going to and from each other for a while. And he's got some lovely children. And a lovely girlfriend as well now. So happy birthday to you all, boys and girls, all right? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. There you go. Happy birthday, boys and girls. Yvonne, it was Eric Bristow. Yeah, I remember Eric Bristow. He was very popular, he was. He came across as a nice bloke as well, didn't he, Eric Bristow? Nice bloke. Do you remember Jockey Wilson, the darts player? No. That name, there was a couple of other names as well on the old darts scene. when I was a kid back in the sort of 80s, I think the 80s, these people were very big darts people, weren't they? Jason, yes, I remember that as well. Jason seems to remember Eric being a pub landlord at some point. I don't remember him being a pub landlord. I certainly remember him seeing him on the telly, and he'd lost an awful lot of weight. I remember seeing that. Yeah, I remember seeing that. Whether or not you can, if you've been like enormous, I know if you lose weight, it's supposed to be good for you. But whether you go to a certain point, and then even though you've lost the weight, it doesn't help. You see what I mean? I don't know if that's true or not. It's a bit like smoking, You smoke, some people that smoke, I don't know, 40. I smoked for 18, 15, 25. About 8 to 10 years I smoked. And I gave up when I was 26. And I'm now 56. So I gave up 30 years ago. But if you've smoked for like 50, 60 years, is there any point after that in giving up? I don't think there is really. You can't claw back 60 years of smoking, can you? In a few months, I suppose. I don't know how that worked. John Lowe was another darts player. Eric Lowe was Eric Lowe. That sounds memorable. Eric Lowe. Jockey was a big lad. Don't remember Jockey. Darts players were big drinkers though, but they're not allowed anymore. What to drink? Oh well. Yeah, it's just how it is, isn't it? Okay, that's it for the show today. Thanks ever so much for joining us again. Don't forget, we don't do a show on Friday morning. There just isn't time with my sort of timings on Friday. So hopefully I'll be back with you on Saturday. Never quite sure about Saturday, whether it be an early show or a later show. Early show, around about 9 in the morning. Late show, around about 11:30 in the morning. So somewhere between there, hopefully on Saturday. I'll see you then. Oh, Sam, I've got to go now. Loads to do, mate. Loads to do, Sam. Sorry, Sam. Thank you very much for your super chats today. Okay. Heidi, I knew you when you were 26. Yes, Heidi. And what a laugh we had going to trade and you helping me at Harpo's. I've never forgotten that. I was doing this like quiz show type thing at Harpo's, and Heidi was going to be our hostess, was the mostess, right? And I would bring her up on stage and we'd have a laugh. But some people, you'll remember this, Heidi, because I haven't forgotten it. I used to get people come up and complain to me that I was being horrible to Heidi, right? Because they didn't understand the comical side of what we were doing. Do you remember that, Heidi? Do you remember that bloke coming up and moaning? Why are you doing that? You're being horrible to her. And I'm like, no, we're not. She knows exactly what we're doing. Do you remember that, Heidi? And we were doing it to be comical, but some bloke just wasn't getting the joke. Actually, Heidi, to be honest, that happens. It doesn't really happen to me because I don't have a sidekick or anything like that. But certainly with some of the drag queens and people like that doing their jokes, people get ever so upset nowadays. They just don't get the funny side of things. Isn't that funny, Heidi? Why is that? Why have people become so unentertainable? Yeah, Heidi remembers that as well, see? Do you remember him? We were having a good laugh on the stage, and this bloke comes up and starts screaming and shouting. Never forget that. Anyway, we're disappearing now. John remembers a bit. That's where it was, Harpo's, John. That's where we did it. It was the title of the quiz. It was Queen of the Scene, wasn't it? I remember that now. Queen of the Scene. I've got a videotape somewhere with that. There's no thunder here, Yvonne. That's the RAF. We're very close to an RAF base here. I have to be, you know, for protection. Anyway, gonna disappear here, gang. Oh, by the way, Heidi, believe it or not, I haven't been to Skegness since I promised to get you a key ring. So whenever I go, I will get you a key ring from Skegness. Oh, and Mark Bowles. Is Mark still here? I said I'd get him a pen from Cyprus. I did. Only I left it at my niece's, so I haven't got it with me. Although, next time I see her, I'll get that off her. All right. That's it for the show, gang. Must go now. Must dash. Thanks ever so much for joining us. And I'll see you again on Saturday morning. You have a good day. Cheerio now.